VF XR8. Now this is a car that it's got some fairly big plans. They're looking at supercharging it down the track, but essentially it had come to us in a broken form, which means that it had an oil pump failure. Not an uncommon thing with underdrive pulley and bits and pieces that were on the engine. Had an oil pump failure, and that had then caused a basically seized the engine, and it was in not a good place. So what we've gone through is we basically got a new crankshaft and then did a performance build to the engine to deal with supercharging, but at the moment we're running it in the NA form. Now the fellow who did it has actually got this manifold built for the top of it, which is just a new top plenum modified to run the throttle body out the front in a fairly basic form, which you'll see on the front of this car. It has a spoiler to be able to fit the larger air cleaner hanging out the front, so it doesn't go through the bonnet, but that's how that all works. In the long term that'll be removed, well that's the plan at the moment, to have that off and put a Whipple on, supercharger, manifold, the whole lot on the top of it, but at the moment that's where it's at. As you saw power wise, it went really well. At 419 horsepower at the tyres. It is all top end, because essentially it is a standard 5.4 litre. In saying that, it's got H-beam rods and forged pistons, and the pistons are a little better design than the factory piston, being a dish piston rather than a flat top, and all designed to get the right compression ratio and bits and pieces. But this is not running higher than standard compression ratio. It is just running a set of cams, new pistons, and then it's a full build. As you saw, power wise at 419, that's making decent power. And what we have done since the power run is we just put the covers on and bits and pieces and neatened up a little bit, so you get an idea of the finished result under the bonnet. Well, a semi-finished result under the bonnet. Over here on the power graph. Power wise, very much as standard, not huge on the torque side of things in the 5.4s down the bottom, but still pulling okay. This one having the camshaft and the slightly better combustion chamber shape, it's pulled through and making pretty good power. We come right to up here and the top end. This is actually 6,500 RPM at just under 420 horsepower at the tyres. That's actually 3 runs in a row where it does the final adjustments in the tune. Nice and safe in its mixtures, and pulling pretty nicely. So a good starting point anyway, and just a video really so that the owner can see his car on dyno making horsepower.